professional development workshop for the Center for Music Education in fall 2024. Our guest today is Dr. Laurie Peebles, and she is going to be teaching us about using AI to make music in the music classroom. Dr. Peebles is currently an assistant professor of music therapy and the graduate coordinator for music therapy at Georgia College. She received a bachelor's of music in music therapy and a master's of music in music education at Converse College and a doctor of philosophy in music education with an emphasis in music therapy at the University of Miami. She completed her music therapy internship in the Fulton County School System and joined the music therapy team at the George Center for Music Therapy in Atlanta. It's a private practice which specializes in catering to children with exceptionalities. She worked with children with autism, emotion behavior disorders, and mental disabilities, survivors of abuse, children who lost parents or siblings, and other varying health impediments. From 2012 to 2014, Laurie has served on the executive board as a secretary to the Music Education Association of Georgia. In 2014, she began working as the music therapist on the oncology units in Greenville Memorial Hospital in Greenville, South Carolina. And she is now working with us, and we're excited to hear what she has to say about AI and music education.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Holmes Davis, for inviting me to come and speak about specifically how we can utilize AI programming into our classroom with our students. So really what I hope to do today is play, because that's really what we want to do on a Saturday afternoon. We actually want to try some of this out. So I do encourage you, you're not going to offend me. Please try out some of this stuff during the presentation. Maybe some of the examples you come up with are going to be even cooler than and I'm going to be asking for input. So as you feel comfortable, please unmute and throw in ideas and questions as we go along. But we're going to start off. I'll tell you very briefly about what AI is. And then we're going to kind of dive into some of these programs. Suno is one of my favorites. I have actually been using Suno more with my students if it's a way to open up class a little lightheartedly. Also, I've used it with friends, just sending silly songs to them. So I personally am a huge fan of Suno. So we'll start with that. During the course of coming up with this presentation, I learned about the new app Riff Fusion. So we're going to play around with that, and I'll show you kind of what I did. And it's something that I really think a lot of our students are really going to become fans of, especially since they are attached to cell phones and tablets. SoundDraw is a new program that I've come across, which is, it's kind of a nice way of kind of getting familiar with DAWs and other digital audio workstations, but in a very user-friendly way. Musicfy is brand new. In fact, it didn't exist this past spring. In fact, I taught my students MuseHub, and MuseHub is basically turned into Musicfy. So, but this is great for creating music for videos, games, and other media. And then we're going to end with Aviva, which has been around for a little while, and it's another DAWs system that can compose tracks. All right, so what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, or AI, is a technology that enables computers and machines to stimulate human intelligence and problem-solving capabilities. So basically, it is a tool, and if it's used well, it can help in our everyday lives. My favorite statement from a colleague this past year was, "They are the best and dumbest assistants you've ever had." So there's AI for you. I will say this, and you're probably familiar with kind of how quick this is all developing, but really with all the different companies that are coming out with new AI programs. AI is developing just so quickly that it's hard to even kind of keep a grasp as to where we are. AI is not as dumb as it was this past spring. And this past spring, it has already improved where it was 6 months, last fall. It's just developing very rapidly. And if you were watching the Olympics, you saw all of these different mega companies rolling out their new AI. Google now has Gemini. I mean, this is developing very rapidly. So whether we like it or not, AI is definitely a part of our lives now. Okay, so let's start playing. Again, one of my favorites is Suno. And if you would like to try it out on your devices, go to the website suno.com. Very easy to type in. So we'll go there. When you get to Suno, it is going to look just like this. This is all a very new layout. You can see kind of different settings that other people have come up with, trending songs. And it does look like a lot of people utilized AI to also do album artwork, which that's a whole nother topic for another time, but very fun if you do want to play around with Dolly. To create a song, we're going to go to create on the left-hand side. And you can see my library of how I've played around with it, just to kind of like try out what it does. But basically, this box is how you're going to talk to the AI. And you're basically just going to describe the song. So you're going to give it a topic, you're going to give it a genre. You can tell it if you want like a slow tempo or a fast upbeat beat. That's kind of all up to you. So I'm going to open it up to you all. What should we ask Suno to write for us today? What's our topic?
A funky melody.
About, do we want an animal? Do we want like a chill Saturday vibe? What are we feeling as far as our topic?
I'll go with amusement parks.
Ooh.
I don't know, a funky melody about. Oh, go ahead.
Someone help me spell amusement parks.
Amusement.
All right. So we're going to create. And what it does is it gives you two options. And you can kind of see from my previous library, there's always two songs. We got Roller Coaster Groove is what they've named it. And then we got two options that are going to be slightly different. So let's listen and see what the first one has come up with. And the lyrics are off here on the side.
Many trains on the horizon. The whole squad is shipping on us. Bills taking in the fuel. Love that's rushing in the crew. Dog in one hand, soda in the other. Laughs all around like undercover cover. Perfect, all night long. Can't go wrong. It's in the air, scream so strong. Until the lights come. Yeah, and how it feels, both going good.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I really like this song. That's pretty cool. Let's try out the other one. So, because you can always decide which one you like more. The lyrics are going to be the same.
No sound on this end.
You said no sounds?
I couldn't hear it either.
Oh no.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you hear the first one?
Yes.
Okay, you could hear the first
That's
one.
right.
Let's see if we can. Is it playing?
Garbled.
Sorry, what did you say, Wimberly?
It's garbled.
Garbled. I will say it kind of sounds a little garbled here, just in the sense that the singing's a little lower. So it doesn't sound as good as the first. So sorry about that. Teams is not always great about sound, but that's kind of the idea. Yeah, and it's really great. I will say the one thing about this is there's not really a way to edit. I do feel like it's eventually going to go that way. You can edit details like image for the most part. But like if there's like lyrics you want to edit, you can't really do that. So again, I kind of feel like this is the beginning of Suno. It will probably continue to develop. Again, right now it's free. And that's really, really nice. Some of these others, everything I showed you today is free, but not everything is, you don't get full accessibility unless you have a subscription for some of these. So,
That's
all
really
right.
cool.
It's really fun to play around with. Like, and I've opened it up to students, to like, just as a way of like, starting class, just to like, have a silly song. I think one of these, I think it was like Peal of Joy that my students came up with. So they wanted a jazzy song. So it's kind of like a nice way of like just opening class, letting them, kind of choose a song and kind of seeing what AI can kind of come up with. The other thing I think it's kind of interesting for is if you are teaching about basically song structure, it really does give you verse, verse, chorus. I will say you can tell that Peal of Joy, this example was one of the first ones that I came up with. And it did not have a bridge, but now I think New Beginnings surprised me the other day. It has a bridge. So even within the last couple of months, it's developed, and we're now getting an actual song structure where it's more than just a verse and a chorus. So I think that's it's kind of interesting how this program is also continuing to develop. So questions or comments about Suno?
Okay, so this is the website. Is there an app for that as well?
I am not positive. I don't think so. I haven't seen them try to ask me to download an app.
Okay.
So I think it's just a website for now. But the next one I'm about to show you is absolutely an app because I had to download it last night to try it out.
Dr. Peebles, if you have it write a song and you like the words but not the music, can you have it rewrite it with a different like music?
You would have to put in the description to talk to it. But yes, you could definitely like have it change the music. But it would probably also change the lyrics when it would generate a new song.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So the next one I'm going to show you is Riff Fusion. If you go, this is an app. You are going to have to go to either Google Play or the App Store, Apple App Store. And I did actually download the app by taking a picture of this tiny QR code. So you could even get it from the slide right now. But this, I found very user-friendly, and it really did make me think of my students, and even like the middle school and high school students that I've come across who are constantly on their cell phones. And loving TikTok or Insta and communicating through Snapchat. This app is absolutely friendly to do that. So when you go to this app, it's going to ask you to upload a photo or a video in your phone library. And so when you can choose any photo, video that you have, and then very similar to what we just saw on Suno, it's going to ask for a description, and you can tell it the genre or style of music you want, and then you're going to provide a prompt about like what the picture is about, and then it's going to come up with a song. So I tried this out last night. So I got to go to Hawaii for the first time this summer and absolutely fell in love with Hawaii. And I went to the Black Sand Beach. So I uploaded this video because I really wanted to see what it could do with the video. And I said I wanted alternative metal, I think I said alternative heavy metal. And then I gave it Black Sand Beach in Hawaii with ocean waves washing over my feet. So that is all I told the AI. This is the video I uploaded, and this is what it came up with. And let me know, please unmute and let me know if the sound's not working.
Yeah, there's no sound.
So, could you hear that? Sorry, Wimberly, what did you say?
There was no sound.
We did test out sound before we started. I'm so sorry, everyone. I will share these slides with Dr. Holmes Davis, and she's can send them out so you can hear. So yeah, so it's kind of neat that it came up with the song basically just with this like short prompt, and it's short, so it's TikTok friendly and other social media friendly. I texted this to myself, so you can even text it to friends. But it's kind of fun to play around with, and I'm kind of planning to play around with this app a little bit more. It is completely free, which is I think the other really cool thing about it. So it's accessible to students, and it would work on basically any cell phone or tablet that students have available to them. Questions or comments about Rifusion?
I've just downloaded it to my phone, so I'm gonna play around with it this evening.
Excellent.
I still teach some private students, and I'm gonna throw this with them and see what happens.
I was thinking about potentially using it in a research class because I have them do a photo voice project, and I kind of think it would be neat to add music to the photos that they come up with. So yeah, I mean, I think it could be a fun experiment to kind of figure out how we could involve these apps with our students. So yeah.
Okay, so tangential question. Who owns the music that the AI writes in terms of like licensing and being
That's a
able
great
to use it?
question. It's going to be AI or whatever program owns it.
So like if I do something in Suno, then Suno owns it?
Yes.
Huh, okay.
Like you can tell, like even from this video, like Rifusion is claiming the song because
Sure.
it was everywhere, even from like the first page created by it has my username PhD Musi, which I created at midnight last night because I couldn't come up with anything else.
Outstanding.
But yeah, clearly, like I thought that was really interesting when they made the video, and if you even put it on a photo, like that mark is on it completely. So yeah, I will say that that's right now, I think that's where we are. But I think kind of the question we have to ask as society sooner rather than later is, yeah, what is artistic ownership? Because, you know, if it's a human asking AI to write a song, you know, who is the original owner of it? And I think you could argue multiple ways for that, but
But if a human asks another human to write, then the human who did the writing is the one who owns it, yeah?
yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. All right, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take a full tangent.
No, it's an interesting, these are conversations that I think we have to have with AI because it's here to stay, and it's kind of become its own entity a little faster than maybe what we want it to, and we haven't actually answered all these questions yet. So, yeah. Okay, so
what are the affordances and constraints of refusion?
It's completely let me know if I didn't understand your question correctly. But it's completely free. And then I would say restraints is it's not going to write a long song. Like they're going to be shorts. They're going to be TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram friendly. So they're going to be very short, just like this example. And I would guess also, yeah, you're going to have like their logo on your finished product. Yeah, I think that's all I can think of right this second.
Okay, great.
All right, so hopefully, let me know if you can hear it, because if you can't hear it, I'm so sorry. I was hoping the sound was not going to be a problem. But this one is definitely something that I hope you can hear the sound for. Otherwise, we may just move past this one a little quicker than others. So the website is sounddraw.io/create_music. And then when you go to SoundDraw, it's going to look like this. I'm already signed in, but it basically is an opportunity to choose a genre of music, which I think is really neat, especially when we're talking to students about different genres and styles. I played around with reggae last night, and it really is a nice way of like connecting these different styles and genres to music that can be written. There's even orchestra. I'm not a fan of the orchestra. It doesn't sound super great, but I will say the more electronic ones, they really sound really nice. So similar to the other apps, we're going to go to create music. And from here, you have options at the top. You can basically come up with a track based on genre. They also have mood. So maybe like if we're working maybe with more like younger elementary school students and we're talking about more like mood and genre, scary, maybe more of a minor key. So that's kind of one way to go about it. There's theme. I haven't really played around with the theme too much, but I think that's neat that, you can kind of just stick with a theme. Like cinematic would be really neat. Tempo, you can choose what tempo you want, instruments. But let's play around with genre. So of these genres you see up here, which one is like jumping out at you that you want to try out?
Christmas. Let's do Christmas outside.
Christmas in August. Let's do it. All right, so it's creating music. So it's basically now come up with these 6 options. The other thing to kind of look at is it will tell you the tempo, it will tell you the key that it's in. And then the other thing is it's giving a description. So instead of us telling the music what description we wanted, it's already given that for us. So if we want an angry, dark, heavy, and ponderous fashion beauty Christmas, which
Angry
why would we
Santa.
not? The question is, why wouldn't we? This is going to be the one for us. So let's start with this, and then we'll try a dreamy romantic. All right, what's the sound? Thumbs up if you can hear.
Not
No
yet.
sounds. Oh no,
We tried it.
we did. We really did try it out before this started. Um, okay, well, we'll move quicker through this one because this one is definitely one you do need to actually hear the music. But what's really cool is there are these different sections. Like you can kind of see if you look at my mouse, there are these different sections of the music. And what's neat is you can play around with the mixer. So this is a nice, friendly way to have students play around with digital audio workstations. It's definitely not as complex as the fancier digital audio workstations, but it's neat in that you can, like, if you click on it, it's going to add melody. And you can basically change the intensity level by like clicking on it more and making it a darker color. Maybe I don't want drum here at all, so I'm going to take the drum completely out. But no, I really do want that. That and the other thing is I want to fill. I want a musical fill also in this first section. So it's kind of a nice, friendly, accessible way to just like try out like how to manipulate music and to kind of talk to these different DAWs. Um, and yeah, it's just kind of fun. And I'm so sorry we can't play around with it because it's not going to really be great if we can't hear it. But try out SoundDraw. It's very user friendly. The other thing I am going to point out, because really at this point, the last three, including SoundDraw, the last couple of things I'm going to show you, it can do more if you get a subscription, which I am not. But if you like play around with it and love it, that might be something you want to do. But basically, like you can upgrade. You can kind of see basically by getting a plan, it's allowing you whatever downloads you want. So if you want unlimited downloads, you can get a subscription for that. But starter is only 10 downloads a month. And I think without a plan, I think, yeah, I cannot download anything. So I think that's the trick. Like you can play around with it, but unless you have a subscription, you can't actually download. But you can still try it out and play around with it. But SoundDraw is one of the newer apps that has kind of developed from the different AIs that have come out there who have left their beta phase and are now in their actual like out into the universe phase. So it can do a good bit, but it's also one of these that you're going to have to get a subscription if you want to do more with it.
Can you link to the music? It looks like the first little icon there is a link icon or something.
Yes, copy. Cool.
So-
I'm going to leave this open. Let's actually try it in another let's see if we can link it into another AI because I have an idea and I'm again not sure it's going to work, but let's go here. Let's go to Musicfy. This is one where I'm going to try to link what we just did into what we're going to create next. So this has replaced MuseHub. So again, I mean, I can't stress enough how like probably this presentation is going to be outdated in like a month because everything's just developing so quickly. But what's neat is that if you go to, so let's go to the website. Again, this is one that you have to have a subscription for. I only have one of 3 generations left for the month. So I think that's the other thing. Like these typically have like a month download or generation, and then the next month it kind of starts over. So I think this is really neat. And if it's something that you and your students really like, this might be worth getting a subscription for. But I think the cool thing is this is the first one that I've seen where you can actually create an AI voice, which I played around with this last night in the sense that they do have I tried an Eminem and they have SpongeBob SquarePants, and I cannot figure out how they've gotten permission from these artists to use their voices, but there you have it. But anyway, I did try it out. And what I came up with was, let's see if I can get it to, this was my Eminem 2000s pop music. Can you hear anything? Probably not.
Not yet.
Oh, no. Okay.
No, no.
All right. Yeah, it's playing, but it can't be heard. So, okay, good to know. So it does allow you to record your own voice. And so I could also see students recording their voices and doing that. The other thing is you can upload audio. So let's see if we can upload what we just created. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to copy it in there. Oh, copy? Oh no, I needed to paste. Hold on. Cancel. Let's go to SoundDraw. We want to copy. And yeah, I'm gonna have to drag and drop. But
I was actually thinking about being able to share what you did with others by maybe putting the link to the music in a Word document or a PDF or something.
Oh,
Since
okay.
you can't download it, but you could actually still use it.
That's a good idea for sure. And I think that's a very smart way of being able to share this information. I'm actually going to, let's go to the last one and then we're going to come back to MusicFi. So Aviva, this has been around a while. So I'm happy to see that it's still around. The website's creators.ai, va.ai. So this is what it will look like when you pop on. What I really like about this, when you go to create a track, you can choose a style, a chord progression. You can import MIDI. So if you're playing around with GarageBand or any kind of other MIDI composition program, you can import that. I typically like going from a style. So very similar. It does have a lot of different options to choose from. So French house, yeah, it has a good bit of things. We've already done a punk rock. We can go back to Christmas. I'm guessing y'all can't hear that.
No.
No, of course. Sorry about this all. We really did try out sound beforehand. So key signature, it's doing auto right now, but you could say A major. And duration, let's get a 2-minute, 2.5 to 3-minute one. And let's create a track. So it's coming up with new composition 4 right now, and it does take a few minutes. But while it's finishing its composition, just to let you know, this is another one that, you have a monthly download quota. So you can see I've downloaded one song this month. And I have 2 left. So we're going to use one of my 2 monthly downloads and we're going to stick it into MuseFi, and see how we can play around with it. Okay, so I'm going to hit downloads. It does need to be an MP3 in order to go into these other programs. So I'm going to get it to head to my iTunes so that I can find it. So now I know where it is. And I'm going to make it shush. Okay. So we have composed a song. Now I also want to show you, you can go in and you can open an editor, because I did tell you this was a DAWs, and it will load your score for you. So this is literally what it created. And it has like the keys above, it has the different sections, the bridge, and you can click on it and play around with the melody, and edit within that. And there's also a way that if you really want to play around with it, and if you have students who are interested, you can basically keep copying and like play around with like reverb, delay, all this kind of other kind of options. So I'm not going to really get into this today, but just so you know what it can do. And so far, like of the ones I've shown you, this is one that you can actually more manipulate the music. So I think that is one of the really neat things about Aviva. So let's go back to if I can find MusicFi. Okay, so we have now created our original thing from Aviva. So let's now upload the audio we just created about Christmas music. So what I'm going to do actually is drag and drop. So actually, I'm going to not do this. I'm going to drag and drop this new composition 4 over into my box over here. So now the thing I just composed, it's now into MusicFi. So the other thing that you can do is kind of like play around with some settings. I don't have a lot of advanced settings because I don't have a subscription. And let's select a voice just because we can.
Do any of these AI generators have, or AIs have options where you could get multiple logins at a time? Like, for example, if you're trying to teach a composition or technology class, would each student have to get their own login, or would you be able to get like a school login?
They would need their own, which could be. Sorry, what did you say?
No, and they look like they're averaging about $10 a month.
Yeah.
All right.
But this one, as long as like maybe if it's just a class, like you can do the 3 generation, or yeah, you get 3 generations. So
Okay.
there could be a way that you try
Maybe-
to get by with just like the free trial of it, just so they can kind of experiment with it.
Sure.
So let's see what the Kendrick Lamar Christmas composition comes up with. It's extracting audio samples. And I will say, speaking of the ownership, here's something AI is just flat out telling us.
That's
We
good to
do not
know.
own commercial rights to audio. So you can
Yeah,
use audio
that's
for personal use only. So there you have it. Yeah.
terrible.
I'm actually gonna, let's actually download. I don't know if y'all can hear this or not, but if you can't, it's not a bad thing. And I kind of wonder, go back to Teams here. I think because I'm sharing the screen, I was trying to see if I could like send it in the chat as another way to kind of share the sound. I'll see if I can do that in a minute. But again, now you've seen that I've reached my generation limit. So for the next several weeks, I cannot generate any more songs using Muse 5. But, it's kind of interesting what it can do. And basically right now with the AI voices, it's more taking the essence of the voice, but it's not actual words that the artists are singing. My Eminem one also was very similar, and that they're not actually saying words and there's no lyrics. So unlike some of like the Suno and Riff Fusion that we tried where there are lyrics, there aren't lyrics with this. But the other thing that I think is interesting is you can actually create your own voice. So and that's something that you do have to have a subscription for. So I haven't actually played around with that. But basically, you can create different voices and potentially even sing into this, and your voice could be changed into another human sounding voice. So, which is interesting, but obviously in order to do that, you have to get a subscription. So anyway, it's interesting to say the very least. So yeah. Let me get out of this. Some final thoughts, and then I'm going to open it up for questions, and even if there's time, play around a little bit more. I kind of have already mentioned this. AI is constantly changing. Again, if you even look at my RIP up here in the corner, Amper Music and MuseNet were ones that I had originally planned to show you today because they're stuff that they're programs I used even this past spring when I was teaching my music therapy students. They no longer exist. So, and it's not that they don't exist, it's that their technologies have been bought by other AI companies and are now like Music.ly didn't exist this past spring, but Amper Music and MuseNet have kind of moved into that Music.ly. So it's just all constantly moving around. There's a chance that some things I showed you today are going to be bought up by other companies and have a different name in like a month's time. Who knows? So just be aware that, this is constantly changing, but the ideas of how to talk to them and how to like play around, the best way to learn is just play around with these different programs. I will say the free ones are typically, the chances are that they're in their beta trials. So that's nice. And those typically don't have subscriptions to play around with. So I think that's kind of cool. But if you do want to do more, or if you really are working with students who are like very passionate about this, a subscription is probably the way to go. And then just best advice, again, play around with it and happy music making for that. But I also wanted to talk to you about basically this concept of how does this prepare our students for the future? Because I think that's something I've been hearing a lot from my fellow colleagues and even just other people I interact with. There's definitely kind of this I feel like there are two trends or two forms of thought right this second about like, oh, AI, yeah, but it's not great. And like, oh, we don't need to really worry about this right now. So there's kind of that like brush it aside kind of attitude. And then there's this like, oh, like we need to like really learn AI and really like make sure we're ahead of this. But one thing I wanted to point out, I've pulled two articles that have kind of talked about this, but I encourage you to, find more. There are so many out there about basically what the future of the workforce is going to look like, and AI is shaping that. So, according to the World Economic Forum about the future of jobs reports, by 2027, one of the top skills that employees are going to, or desired employees are going to have, is knowing how to work with AI and other big data programs. One thing that people are predicting is that a lot of AI is going to replace a lot of the coding needs for different businesses, and maybe even some of the other smaller labor jobs. But we're going to need employees that can talk to AI and can prompt AI to do whatever it is that we're asking it to do. So it is important that our students start learning how to prompt AI and interact with AI, because this is, if we're hoping to prepare students for the workforce, being able to talk to AI and being familiar with AI is going to be an important skill. And then as far as music goes, when I first started learning about these different AI programs only last year, like last fall for that matter, there were only like 3 AI music programs that I really thought were okay. But really what AI is trying to do now is branch out into other creative aspects of quote unquote humanity. So I would say, so this is from Forbes, this past March 12th, 2004, the future of work, embracing AI's job creation potential. One of the things that these big companies like Google and ChatGPT, Bing, this is really what they want to do, is they want to branch out into other areas. So this integration will not be limited to computer science departments, so it would span across various disciplines. So the idea being, AI companies want to hire musicians, they want to hire artists, they want to hire individuals with skills that can kind of help AI get to the next level in some of these more creative aspects. So there's a chance that our music students are going to be hired to maybe help with these AI music programs. So being able to play around with these and be familiar with them could give them a leg up in the workforce. And again, staying up on it is the biggest key, since things are constantly changing. But I think that's a really interesting thing to think about going forward, is, really how we can help prepare students for this world that AI seems to have taken over. So, yeah. Questions or comments? I am going to.
Okay. Yeah. As you all know, I'm new to music therapy. I was reading about a music therapist who worked in a mental institution, and he encouraged his clients to develop their own songs of what their life experience and whatnot, so that they could, have a solid connection to their music. And I think the Suno that you were talking about is a really cool idea, because instead of developing an entire lyric base, the client only needs to put in a few words, and boom, AI. It's really cool.
I really like Suno. That's the one I've had the most fun with. And I've even gotten some of my colleagues into it because our admin assistant texted me a song that she wrote on Suno the other day. So it's really fun and it's very user friendly. And especially if we're trying to add literacy to music education, this is a great way of kind of doing some of those cross curriculum type of things. I was even thinking it would kind of be cool. I have not done this yet, but it would be kind of cool, like if we're learning something about like history and even trying to put that into a song. That could be a cool way of, again, I would kind of want to see if it could get history right, because sometimes AI still generates very entertaining things. But I don't know. It could be something to explore around with. But yeah. And I think this is where we excel, is we can think creatively about how to like bring this to our students. And our students are so creative. I think our students could probably teach us a thing or two that we didn't even know AI could do. So it could be a really neat way of incorporating technology and AI, but also like have like a little, I like to call it like a sandbox class where everyone's just kind of playing around and seeing really what this technology can do and sharing ideas. So that could be cool for maybe some like middle school, high school classes. I
I think
tried
this,
to put the
sorry.
sound draw into the chat. So I don't know if you can hear the recording, but that's what I copied from SoundDraw. So you can let me know if you can hear it. But I'm so sorry we had issues with sound today. But I will see what I can do to share some of the things with you all and other links.
I'm finding that Teams seems to get glitchier the more people get on it. So maybe it worked when it was just me and you. And then when everybody else came on it, then it, yeah, didn't do what it had done previously.
Interesting.
So trying to see if I can play it. And we'll try it once.
I heard it.
You heard it? I didn't hear it.
I don't know.
Gotta love technology and this presentation
Technology.
about technology. You gotta love it. It's just perfect. But hopefully, I hope if anything in this presentation, like you at least saw the AI programs, and I will share this presentation with Dr. Holmes Davis. And if anyone wants the presentation, you are welcome to it. And you can hopefully try out the links and play around with it yourself and come up with some really cool, creative ways of utilizing these programs.
I'm going to use it today. Thank you so much.
I can't wait to hear your Riff Fusion song.
I've
This
been
goes
playing
back
with it
to-
in the background.
This goes back to technology and music education, where when I took this summer,
Yes.
I'm just understanding more of the software and apps and websites.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're running down on time. So do you have any last thoughts, Dr. Peebles?
Thank you all for being here. And yeah, if you have any other ideas, maybe you play around with it and explore and you learn something that I don't know, please reach out and share it with me, because I am learning just like everyone else is, and this is constantly changing. So I feel very much like a beginner when it comes to these music programs. So yeah, I can't wait to learn from you.
Well, thank you, because you have actually both this presentation and your general like Chat GPT presentation from last spring, you've kind of guided me into even starting because I was kind of scared to even get started because I didn't want to break the AI. So yeah, like I've been playing with Suno since the presentation, since you first presented it today. And so you've kind of gotten me even to where I feel comfortable getting started. So thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Yes.
And on August 31st is our next presentation on successfully podcasting. So I hope to see you all there. Solange, did you have one more question before we go?
It's all good.
It's all good? All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Peebles, and y'all have a wonderful day.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.